Seasons make a nice example of this harmony, which is established for the continuation of life and the development of beings in the world. Seasons follow each other within a great order and arrangement, without exceeding certain limits in the degrees of heat, which stays within the possibilities of living of the ones with life. The automatism in their flow is established by the great beings in duty. By this means, there are not abrupt jumps, for instance in the mild climates, from very hot summer days to the coldest days of winter. Degrees of air temperature gradually climb down and up, from the uppermost limit to the lowermost and from the lowermost to the uppermost limit, and by changing a few degrees a day within spring and autumn flows, summers turn into winters and winters turn into summers, and the limits of air temperatures, above and below, do not reach up unendurable levels for those who live in the world. This state is a calculated device, which is regulated by the sublime plans that obey the great harmony of cosmoses. Degrees of hotness and coldness of the seasons are full of materials which respond to all kinds of needs of the beings. Again, here, there is a great harmony of order. And all these orders and devices are established on the path of preparing infinite sources of possibilities to the world beings, within the general evolutionary flow of universe. Innumerable beings in duty were given duties in these establishments, in order not to divert an inch from this harmony. The humid weather conditions of the spring, which are sweet and necessary for life, cause the waking up of many plant and animal bodies. Everything gets refreshed, rejuvenated. The summer season is the maturation period. All fruits ripen, each one with life discloses the inherent forces within itself. This is a season of productivity. Autumn meets the needs of some beings who completed their duties within a certain period of time, and now need a temporary sleep or death, and rest in order to prepare for their new lives. In the meantime, the leaves turn yellow and fall. Trees start to go back to their secret lives. Many animals retreat into their dens or shells, and dive into sleep or death, which prepares them for the future, in order to prepare themselves for their new awakening in the next spring. Winter is a season which contains all kinds of evolutionary material of all embodied beings. In this season, mankind encounters many tests and trials, experiences and observations. Working and making effort under relatively harsh circumstances help mankind to mature and strengthen. All these occur within interconnected devices through mutual exchange and support. Each of these is of the orders and devices which constitute the general harmony of the world, and do exist within this general harmony as closely interconnected. The order particular to each season is established. This order is executed as adjusted to the life possibilities and degrees of endurance of the beings living in that climate. Plants, animals, and humans of hot climates find the life conditions they need in that climate. Seasons faithfully obey this harmony. Under no circumstances do icy mountains exist in tropical regions, and roasting deserts do not exist in Arctic regions. This is because such situations are not suitable for the living possibilities of the bodies which inhabit those places. At the moment mankind is face to face with an untimely death, because of a drought when the soil is dried and cracked. Animals cannot find water to drink. Beings in duty, who are engaged in activities suitable to the great harmony, immediately take action and start to send their influences to that region. By means of these influences, clouds gather, rain waters fall down to the soil to revitalize the ground, and a perfect and harmonious automatism becomes established, in order to prevent harmful conditions. Waters in the ground evaporate with a certain degree of heat, and retreat back to the skies and, when needed, fall again as rain. So all these states and advances continue on their path within an order, suitable to the harmony of the general evolutionary flow, without even diverting an inch. Nights follow days with certain intervals. In this regard, each region on the Earth has an adjustment, a periodical order according to the season. In certain seasons, the durations of nights and days always stay fixed. All of these are states that occur within unfailing devices. In the world, states and orders occurring in every event and situation, and within an ordered rhythm and great harmony, are the manifestations of the general harmony of the world. There is not a disordered, defective thing. All events are made manifested, as regulated and assisted in degrees in the evolution of each being. The world is a small part of the universe, which is a vast harmony. None of the things that occur here can go outside of this harmony. If it does, it cannot exist. For harmony means the events becoming harmonized, adapted and complementary, at each point of the great evolutionary path. And this expresses that all motions which constitute the events become completely merged and fused with each other. Nevertheless, every being, every matter part, every vibration is each emotion complex. We have previously mentioned that no particle of the whole universe can be free of the beams of light. This divine light is the harmony itself, and all motions of the universe can exist only by the power of this divine light. We have stated this point as well. Therefore, to break away from the harmony means to be free of motions, and for any matter or being which is free of motion, its existence or permanence cannot be considered. Thus, wherever motion exists, there is certainly a manifestation of universal harmony. Seen from the perspective of mankind, all things which appear such as goodness, bad, disorder, meaninglessness, lowness, highness, disrespect are relative. These are but barren judgments, which are concluded because of mankind's lack of vision about the universal order and harmony. A lion's attacking a defenseless fawn and feeding it to his cubs, big fish eating small fish, uncountable killings and preying in the plant, animal and human realms, which continue from the moment the world is built. Mankind's destroying their own peace and ease by attacking each other, inviting their days full of uncountable torture and suffering by their own acts and deeds, and eventually, making the world a hell, a dungeon for themselves. Such states which are seen as outrageous, are actually necessary, imperative and certainly beneficial states, which occur under the control of the beings in duty, connected to the administrative mechanism, in accordance with the necessities of the great harmony. They flow on within the great order and harmony of the cosmos, which advances in accordance with the purpose of preparing the ever-new developmental stages of all beings and mankind. Mankind can and will see this state only in relation to their evolution. None of these is unnecessary, outrageous and unwarranted within the evolutionary order and general harmony of the universe. These concepts of outrageousness and needlessness are relativities based on one-sided views which are accepted and valued by mankind, because of the imperativeness of the world life which manifests, again, within the evolutionary harmony. Indeed, the ones who observe the world objectively, by separating from the feelings for a moment, can see this truth clearly at that moment. When they look at the insect kingdom, they soon appreciate that, in spite of all those fights and battles among them, a great harmony ensuring their growth and development always exists, and within this harmony, these fights and battles carry great significance as well. The struggles and fights of the inhabitants of an anthill, engaged with their fellow creatures in defending their nest, are not in vain and unnecessary. Others attacking them and their responding to the attackers, are devices which automatically make those beings acquire capabilities that are needed to be taught by the ant life. All these states are the parts of the great order of nature which comes from the original directives that are accrued to these ants, bees and insects, so those beings can do the simplest and automatic preparations for the states of gathering, organizing, acquiring merits for communal plans, and eventually, one day, to join mankind who has taken the path of the sublime plan of duty. By the means of their organizations automatically established in this way, they do faithfully a great number of deeds and duties, without harming each other for surviving, breeding their generations, preserving the well-being of their community and, hidden behind all of these activities, for the sake of ensuring their development. And they do not slack and neglect their deeds at all. We said they do these deeds without harming each other, because these world bodies, which eat each other at any moment according to the world comprehension, actually help each other through these acts unknowingly and without comprehending, and this is to be, as such, is an imperative in their communal plans. So, as is observed in sometimes positive and sometimes negative ways, the state of complying to and participating in the necessities of the great order and harmony flows on within the whole realm of plants, animals, and mankind, from the smallest to the largest. In mankind, provided that it always stays within the cadre of the great order of nature and evolutionary harmony, much wider and encompassing variations of the state of complying to the harmony of the communal plan necessities are observed. For example, the harmony which manifests as a great peace and calmness among mankind in some places, is not different and apart from the harmony which advances in many other places as annoying and harming, strangling and killing each other. All this turmoil, which is seen as disharmonious and defective in the view of mankind, is the manifestation of universal harmony, which is devised and regulated according to various degrees of merit, developmental needs and power of mankind, in accordance with the world order. Therefore, the world life which embraces all with life, starting from grit and stone, and the motions and events belonging to them, must be taken as a whole, with this aspect of it. It is like an immense orchestration whose sounds, when taken separately, resonate as discord and grate on the ear, but become harmonious, beautiful and even necessary states and values for the perfection of the orchestration, when they are heard within the whole of it. If a man, who does not understand about knowledge of composition and orchestration, attempts to tune an instrument which apparently sounds jarringly to his liking, he may disrupt the harmony of that orchestration. However, the whole state of the world is within a harmony which has an infinite scope, that cannot be compared with such an ordinary orchestration. In this regard, the world is an immense composition, which has been established with all its constitutions. And the ones who put into effect this composition are the great composers in duty, who have adapted to the original necessities coming as filtered from the unitary. That is, they are the great organizers.